So I feel like we've been hitting a real low bar recently. I feel like we're all dirty talk.
We are a lot of dirty talk recently, yeah.
I know. So I feel like we need to get it all out of our system.
I agree. We need to just
as
purge.
hard as we can. We got to purge this. Like The Purge, like Ethan Hawke. But
Yeah.
like a less shitty version of that movie.
Right.
So right now I want us to get it all out of our system.
Okay.
What is the grossest, just worst thing you could do to another human being?
Another human being. Okay, so in Japanese cultures, if a woman is, sometimes it could be adulterous, or how bukkake started is they circle them and they jack off onto her body and face. And it's not a sexual thing, it's a domination, shame thing.
Okay.
So assume the same situation, right? And it's like Kim Davis. Someone that deserves shame, right? We're not jacking off. Calm down. Put your dicks back in your pants. So what we're doing is Kim Davis or someone like that, doesn't have to be her. You put her in a place, and it's just a dark room with a spotlight over her head, right? And then all of a sudden, fetuses, dead ones, start hitting her in the face. A borscht-kake.
Hugo and Jake, the Bible is jaded, and most of it taken, so get educated with Hugo and Jake. Pull up and stop what you're doing, it's Bible reloaded time. They call it debated, the theists will hate it, like talking to taken, but it's Hugo and Jake. So on with the show then, it's not candy coated, it's the Bible reloaded with Hugo and Jake, with Hugo and Jake.
Hello everyone. Me amo Hugo.
Y mi amo Yak.
Yak.
Was the J silent and the A is kind of a long A, and then Jake, and then it could be Yake.
I don't.
But I was just gonna go Yak because it sounded like a yak, which is more accurate.
And this is the Bible Reloaded. So thanks everyone for coming back. I always appreciate it when you guys show up for these, because if no one listened to them, then we'd be doing this for our own benefit, and it's anything but for our benefit. So, so thank you.
Appreciate it. Thanks for coming by.
If you remember what happened last time, Alicia decided, hey, this famine that's making people eat babies, this kind of sucks, so we gotta make this stop. Don't worry, within the next day or so, food prices are going to go way down and everyone will be able to afford food again. There's one guy who's an official of the king says, how are you going to do that? I'm very skeptical. Alicia, in his infinite wisdom, immediately lashed out and said, fuck you for not believing me. I'm going to kill you. You're not going to get any food.
Yep.
So, in this episode, that dude's going to die. So let's just go ahead and jump right in to the siege lifted in 2 Kings chapter 7, verse 3. Now there were 4 men with leprosy at the entrance of the city gate. They said to each other, why stay here until we die? If we say we'll go into the city, the famine is there, and we will die. And if we stay here, we will die. So let's go over to the camp of the Arameans and surrender. If they spare us, we live. If they kill us, then we die.
That's kind of a decent strategy. That's not bad.
No. For some reason, I picture these lepers with very stereotypical Jewish voices. Yeah. So what? We stay here, we die. We leave, we die. Let's go talk to them, okay?
What, are we gonna go in there and starve to death? They don't have any pretzels.
You know what? Sounds good. Bagel. Now I'm a little Italian. I
You sound like a mobster trying to get protection money from the Jew at the bagel shop.
Yeah, I'm sorry. At dusk they got up and went to the camp of the Arameans. When they reached the edge of the camp, no one was there, for the Lord had caused the Arameans to hear the sound of chariots and horses and a great army, so that they said to one another, look, the king of Israel has hired the Hittite and the Egyptians to attack us. So they got up and fled in the dusk and abandoned their tents and their horses and donkeys. They left the camp as it was and ran for their lives.
What? This is off-screen God miracle.
Okay, so God apparently made them hear armies or whatever, so they decided to leave. But even if there were actually armies there, it's not the soundest strategy to leave all of your equipment and tents and your camp in general completely undefended.
Right, seems a little made up.
Because even if they were an army there, what if it was a diversionary tactic? You idiots. I know I have maybe a couple thousand years human experience on you guys.
Yeah.
I'd like to think the military commanders at the time had thought, you know what, if we go this way, maybe they'll attack us from the back. Because, we're at war. Verse 8. The men who had leprosy reached the edge of the camp, entered one of the tents, and ate and drank. Then they took silver, gold, and clothes and went off and hid them. They returned and entered another tent and took some things from it and hid them also.
This is the luckiest 3 lepers ever.
This is the best burglary. Like, we'll come back, we'll take some, we'll hide it somewhere. They don't have houses because they're lepers, so maybe in a bush somewhere.
Yeah.
In that leper bush.
They're the leper wet bandits.
I wish there was like
there's no water, it's the desert. So there's the sand. They just put sand on things.
They're like the sticky bandits in the sequel.
They're sticky bandits?
In Lost
they
from New York, they became the sticky bandits. He put Marv, because I remember the names of the burglars from Home Alone, because I'm a sad person, you see. They took tape and wrapped it around their hands and stuck it in like donation buckets and took the money.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Sticky bandits. Sticky leper bandits.
Poor Macaulay Culkin. Honestly, listen, Culks.
No, he's not poor Macaulay Culkin. He dated Mila Kunis for like 6 years.
What? Did he really?
Yeah, he's not, no. He gets a life win, no matter what. She could be crazy. Doesn't matter. Because Macaulay Culkin, that's the tippy top. Like, that's all you're getting out of life.
Have you seen Macaulay Culkin's disgusting facial hair?
Oh, God, he's so bad.
It's like if the Scarecrow from Wizard of Oz tried to grow a beard.
Ugh.
It's like, it's not working for you, man. Maybe go ask the wizard for better facial hair.
He's like if leukemia turned into a person and then tried to be successful, but it was leukemia, so it's just not ever gonna happen.
Then you get the movie The Good Son, and you're like, he's done.
He's done. Peaked at 6.
Then they said to each other, what we're doing is not right. This is the day of good news and we're keeping it to ourselves. If we wait until daylight, punishment will overtake us. Let's go at once and report this to the royal palace. This is interesting to me. These characters, these lepers, strike us as almost comedic characters. If you've ever read like a Greek play,
sure,
or even something like Shakespeare, pretty much any
Lysistrata is a good Greek play about women withholding sex from men during wartime.
Sure, whatever.
So have at it.
There's generally a character somewhere, or a group of characters, some sort of band of several people who come off as comedic. They're the comedic relief would be the modern equivalent.
It's like a drama.
Yeah, it seems like as this was written, the lepers come off to me as very comedic, lucky characters that come across this thing. Yeah. Misfortunate characters who come across something fortunate. And
it would have been ironic and funny. That kind of happened. These were usually spoken out loud as far as like stories. So these were often oral histories that you would. So this could be a comedic relief moment.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Yeah, we haven't had one in a while. I know a long time ago we had that woman who was on her period. Yeah. We had that fat guy get stabbed and they thought he was in the bathroom for a really long time.
Sodom and Gomorrah, the end of that is actually probably for comedic relief.
We talked
where
about
his
that.
daughters fuck him.
Yeah.
So I mean, like, it's interesting to come across these little nuggets.
So they went and called out to the city gatekeepers and told them, we went into the Aramean camps and no one was there, not a sound of anyone, only tethered horses and donkeys and the tents left just as they were. The gatekeepers shouted the news and it was reported within the palace. The king got up in the night and said to his officers, I will tell you what the Arameans have done to us. They know we are starving, so they have left the camp to hide in the countryside, thinking they will surely come out and then we will take them alive and get into the city.
See, this king knows a lot more about warfare than apparently the Arameans ever did.
I know.
And I'm surprised that they were trapped in the first place because this guy is actually making sense.
I know. You can't even say that it was like a war strategy not as perfected. This guy gets what's going on. He knows how triple crosses go. One of his officers answered, have some men take 5 of the horses that are left in the city. Their plight will be like that of all the Israelites left here. Yes, they will only be like all the Israelites who are doomed, so let us send them to find out what happened.
So he's basically like, well, they're fucked anyway if they don't leave, so make them leave so that we can see if this is true. Because they're probably going to get the shit murdered out of them.
So they selected 2 chariots with their horses, and the king sent them after the Aramean army. He commanded the drivers, go and find out what has happened. They followed them as far as the Jordan, and they found the whole road strewn with clothing and equipment the Arameans had thrown away in their headlong flight.
I don't like that they said they were going to send 5 horses, and then they sent 2 chariots, meaning that 2 of the chariots had opposite, like different numbers of horses. One had 3 and one had 2.
Yeah.
I can't, really not comfortable with that. Not at all.
I'm wondering, why did the Arameans, as they're running away or whatever, why did they drop all their shit?
They also stripped, because there was clothes strewn about.
Then the people went out and plundered the camp of the Arameans. So a seah of flour sold for a shekel, and 2 seahs of barley sold for a shekel, and as the Lord had said.
That's a prophecy fulfilled.
No, it's not. It's within the same story. You stupid, stupid people.
So the last episode of the Bible study, Elisha basically said, "Hey, Lord says this is what's going to happen. The prices are going to drop." And then literally on the next page of the Bible, it happens, and it's like, it doesn't really count.
No. Now the king had put the officer on whose arm he leaned in charge of the gate, and the people trampled him in the gateway, and he died. That was the guy that was cursed by Elisha, by the way. And people trampled him in the gateway, and he died, just as the man of God had foretold when the king came down to his house. It happened as the man of God had said to the king. About this time tomorrow, a seah of the finest flour will sell for a shekel, and 2 seahs of barley for a shekel at the gate of Samaria. Yeah, we get it. We get it. You don't have to repeat it. Bible.
So repeaty. So he got trampled.
Yeah.
So and you guys didn't catch that.
And he died.
He died too?
Because he was just a fucking dick. So, chapter 8. The Shumanites' land restored.
Yay.
Now Elisha said to the woman whose son he had restored to life, "Go away with your family and stay for a while, wherever you can, because the Lord has decreed a famine in the land that will last 7 years.
There are several issues with this. First of all, you didn't restore her son to life, you laid on him, and then he sneezed.
Yeah, and then he came back to life. Also, famine. Didn't they just go through a blockade, basically, where they were forced to eat children because of this?
Yeah, and then God's like, famine time.
Yeah, God got a little taste of people eating their children and the horror that encompasses, and he decided, yeah, I'll take more of that.
That's good. Babies are tender. Babies are actually fun to watch boil.
Yeah.
Because they're kind of like lobsters. They go, ee, and then they finally turn red. And
Except here, it's not steam escaping the shells. It is a screaming child.
Yeah, you can suck their brains out.
The woman proceeded to do as the man of God said. She and her family went away and stayed in the land of the Philistines for 7 years. At the end of the 7 years, she came back from the land of the Philistines and went to appeal to the king for her house and land. I didn't know you could do that. I didn't know you could just say, I left my house and land. It probably got sold, but I need it back now. That doesn't seem fair. The king was talking to Gehazi, the servant of the man of God. Wait a minute. Can I talk about this for a second?
You can.
Gehazi is the servant of Elisha, if you don't remember.
Right.
Now, all the way back in 2 Kings, in chapter 5, verse 27, it is said that the leprosy of someone was transferred to Gehazi. Gehazi then runs away and leaves or whatever and has leprosy.
Yeah.
Now Gehazi is back and talking to the king. Someone who has leprosy, and as we said, that can be any number of skin diseases, but it's not something temporary, generally speaking. And it also says God cursed him with that, so I'm assuming it's something permanent. Would not be talking to a king. A king would not be like, hey, person with leprosy, let me talk to you in close quarters.
Not generally permitted.
No. So there's a biblical contradiction for you. You're welcome.
Nailed it. I wish we had those Jamaican horns, the boo boo boo, every time we had one of those.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
And we could be like, Rasta.
So the king was talking to Gehazi, the servant of the man of God, and had said, tell me about all the great things Elisha has done. Just as Gehazi was talking to the king how Elisha had restored the dead to life, the woman whose son Elisha had brought back to life came to appeal to the king for her house and land.
How fortunate.
That's super lucky. That's super lucky that happened. I'm going to write that down. Lucky. I went through the page a little bit. It's okay. It's not important.
A little too much zeal?
It's too much zeal for how lucky this person was. Gehazi said, this is the woman, my lord the king, and this is her son, whom Elisha restored to life. The king asked the woman about it, and she told him. Then he assigned an official to her case and said to him, give back everything that belonged to her, including all the income from her land from the day she left the country until now.
Whoever was living there got fucked.
Yeah, the king's like, hey, and all the money you made selling your, vegetables or whatever you were making
all
there.
The hard work you did for 7 straight years.
That's hers now. Why? Is she really impressive? Did she do something? No, this dude laid on her kid and he came back to life. That's not an accomplishment. She didn't do anything. Why should she get this land back? I mean, I'm not even against getting the land back. I mean, it's kind of dickish to whoever lives there. But the fact that whatever money was made there over 7 years is now owed to her, that's pretty fucked.
It is interesting that they're giving property to a woman, though.
Yeah.
Which doesn't happen, ever. So I assume...
it's
the husband, but she is important because she is the mother of the son, because they're supposed to be maternal.
I would assume that as well. I assume the property would be if the husband is not there, I assume the property is basically being held for the son.
Right.
Once he becomes of age. Today we're going to finish on Hazael murders Ben-Hadad, which is interesting, and it's very much like Macbeth. So if you like Macbeth, this is like Macbeth. You're not supposed to say Macbeth because they say it curses things, but I like saying Macbeth.
Macbeth has a good, it's satisfying to the mouth. Kind of like when you type the word people.
Yeah.
Go ahead and type the word people right now in the just P-opal.
Yeah, it's great.
P-opal. I love it.
I'm getting close just thinking about it.
I know.
Anyway, Elisha went to Damascus, and Ben-Hadad, king of Aram, was ill. When the king was told the man of God has come all the way here, he said to Hazael, "Take a gift with you, and go meet with the man of God. Consult with the Lord through him, and ask, will I recover from this illness?" It's interesting to me whenever he's around, they always ask him. Do they not have advisors of their own? They don't have, what we would consider modern doctors, but they probably have a medicine person.
A medicine person.
Like Dr. Quinn. Medicine person.
Because it's...
I'm being gender neutral.
Yeah.
You don't know. We never saw her vagina. We don't know what's going on under there. Anyway. Hazael went to meet Elisha, taking with him a gift of 40 camel loads. That's a lot.
That's a fucking lot of camel loads.
All of the finest wares of Damascus.
That's camel bukkake loads.
Yeah. He went in and stood before him and said, "Your son Ben-Hadad, king of Aram, was sent to ask, will I recover from this illness?" Elisha asked, "Go and say to him, you will certainly recover. Nevertheless, the Lord revealed to me that he will in fact die."
Aww.
He stared at him with a fixed gaze until Hazael was embarrassed. Hold on, picture this situation. What a strange thing. Okay, you're the guy. Okay?
Of course I am. I'm really hard to embarrass, so good luck.
Okay, so you come to me and you say,
"Is he gonna die?"
Here's the thing. Okay, God says he's gonna die, but you need to tell him he's not gonna die, okay? And then I just stare at you until you are embarrassed.
It's not working. Not embarrassed. Getting a little smiley, though. I'm not embarrassed. I'm embarrassed for you.
They can't see the faces I'm making. It's alright.
It's got a lot of eyebrow.
I'm all eyebrow.
There's like 100% eyebrow happening.
If I keep this up, I'm going to grow like a unibrow, and it's going to become a super brow.
This is a really strengthened brow.
Yeah. Anyway. Then the man of God began to weep. Why is my lord weeping?" asked Hazael. "Because I know the harm you will do to Israel," he answered. "You will set fire to their fortified places, kill their young men with a sword, dash their little children to the ground, and rip open their pregnant women."
That's pretty extreme.
Yeah, that's a pretty violent image.
And this is coming from a guy. This guy is crying about that. This guy killed children with 2 bears.
Yeah.
2 female bears like Aquaman.
Hazael said, "How could your servant, a mere dog, accomplish such a feat? The Lord has shown me that you will become king of Aram," answered Elisha. Then Hazael left Elisha and returned to his master. When Ben-Hadad asked, "What did Elisha say to you?" Hazael replied, "He told me that you would certainly recover." But the next day he took a thick cloth, soaked it in water, and spread it over the king's face so that he died. Then Hazael succeeded him as king.
So he waterboarded him to death.
Kinda. He didn't pour water over his face, though. He just made it difficult to breathe. Interesting. You brought up to me that this is a very Matrix moment. Did you knock over the jar because I said you were gonna, or would you have anyways?
Like what? So is he setting him up to be like, yeah, but I mean, like, you're gonna be king and stuff and take care of it, and he's not gonna die from his illness, but I mean,
you're gonna kill him.
He's gonna die, though.
It's Macbeth. Yeah, basically. Also, I think it's interesting that this is clearly the kind of story that happened after the fact. Like, clearly this guy was already a king who probably did some fucking horrible things.
Yeah, and it's clearly like, this is why the guy, like, this was prophesized. He's the one that killed the good guy, and now he's an asshole, and he's killing kids and ripping open pregnant women, which is a thing people do. That's like rape of Nanking type shit.
Yeah. God, that's one of the worst things.
That's so bad.
Honestly, that's probably not even one of the worst things human beings have ever done to each other. We are just garbage.
Yeah.
We're the worst species, and I don't think we've gotten that much better.
No. And now we have Facebook and Twitter, and now we can know every person that is a piece of shit.
Yeah. God.
Oh, it's depressing.
One thing that maybe that we can see all these pieces of shit and how selfish people actually are. Maybe now is the time where we can self-improve and see the faults in ourselves and others and consider how we can eliminate those while growing the things that make humanity good. Or minion memes. So thanks, everyone. I think that's it for this episode.
Indeed.
This is actually, I think the last episode that Jake and I will be recording in the same room for a very long time.
Yeah, the last Bible episode probably for several months that we are in the same room recording. I am moving, and Hugo will not be moving with me. Maybe in the future, but not right now. Because lease issues and also moving is tough.
Yeah, so he will be in another state and we'll be doing it online. So next time, that's probably what's going to be going on.
Yeah. So if we sound any different, we will try to equalize that over time, but it's just because we're on different microphones at that time.
Yeah. You can always follow us on Twitter at Bible Reloaded.
You can follow Hugo at Hugo Reloaded.
We're very fancy. You can always subscribe to the channel at this button. It is red.
And if you press it, you will get a mustache, whether you're a man, woman, or child. If you could also go to our Patreon and be a patron. And you could donate currency to us. And henceforth thou shalt receiveth gifts at requisite levels incumbent upon you. Just you'll get stuff if you give us money.
You were trying real hard.
Yeah, and then you could stick around.
Yeah.
Stick around and hang out with us, and next month we'll do a hangout.
Yeah.
And you can be part of that.
So I think that's it. Thanks everyone. Next time join us for some more Bible goodies. So thanks everyone. Until next time, I'm Garbage.
And I am Trash Man.
This has been fucking YouTube.
This has been... It's like if you filled a water balloon with semen and just let it sit in the summer sun. And someday it's gonna pop, but not today.
I'll tell you right now, semen, when it rots,
no,
smells
that's
awful.
Probably smells like our neighbors.